So, pranayama. So all breathing in yoga, you should put your hand on your belly. Do it with me right now. Put your hand on your belly and focus on when you're breathing, not just lifting your chest. Put another hand on your chest, okay? A lot of us, we breathe like this, right, with our chest. But the fact is, your lungs can expand all the way down to, touch your liver, right? So what you want to do is, you can't see it, but I'm touching my belly, and when I breathe in, I make my belly go forward. So you literally unflex your abs, open your belly, go. And then when you breathe out, push in with your belly, like push in on your belly, clench your abs to put the air out. You will find almost like a rush of oxygen to your brain. It's almost like makes you alert because you're taking so much more in. And that, of course, helps everything to function. So that's the first rule. Now, ujjayi breathing is a little bit different. In ujjayi breathing, you breathe in through your throat all the way to your belly. So kind of like you're the Grudge. Kind of like you're the Grudge, okay? So like this. I'm doing a little bit wrong. There we go. So you kind of want to close and tighten your throat so that the air really pushes through. It is really difficult to learn at first, but you focus on learning that, it really... So the whole pranayama sequence is doing that kind of breathing at different levels of your body 3 times. So you would start like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this. It's been a while since I've done the full sequence. So you start from the bottom. Put your hands on your hips. Hands on your hips like this. And you can start with your hand on your belly if that helps you remember to flex your belly. And when you breathe in for 4, you stop for 4, you breathe out for 6, and you stop for 2. So, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Okay? But with ujjayi breathing, not like that. So I'm going to demonstrate the first sequence. Hands on your hips, just like this. And do that 3 times. So in, 2, 3, 4, stop. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. The goal with any kind of relaxation breathing is to breathe out longer than you breathe in and get really deep breaths in and out. Focusing on that, so there's the video I just put up is like an introduction to mindfulness and includes some of the studies that have evidence for mindfulness within relaxation science, right? Because I basically have become a relaxation physician. That's my area of expertise right now. And so if you look at the video I just put up on YouTube, there's some information and data about that. But basically focusing on one thing, like breathing, is pretty much a mindfulness technique from DBT, used by Linehan, Dr. Kabat-Zinn, all those people, okay? So the other benefit is when you're breathing like that, you really are expanding the amount of oxygen that comes to your body, and you're kind of getting everything tuned up better, and you're changing your the most important thing, right, the most scientific thing, is you are taking control and altering some of the signals in your autonomic nervous system, altering your parasympathetic and sympathetic system, right? So, Hoff, that sucks. I'm so sorry for you. And as always, of course, anything I say here cannot be used as actual medical advice, but a couple things you can do. For pain. Do they give you anything? Because you can take the Tylenol, you can take ibuprofen. Turmeric is really good for anti-inflammatory if you have risks, so you don't want to take the Tylenol or the ibuprofen. And those can actually help with pain. Sometimes your doctor can give you pain eardrops, actually. It's something you can ask for, like little numbing lidocaine eardrops. Hi there, Lauren. I didn't see your number, but I appreciate you. Oh, JJ's being sweet. So you can ask your doctor for little lidocaine drops. You can ask for, which is the best thing, you can take some Tylenol or ibuprofen. Those are going to be my, more allopathic things that you can do. On the more integrative side, turmeric is really good evidence for musculoskeletal pain because it lowers inflammation globally, 1,500 milligrams a day. You could consider trying it for ear pain. There was a technique that is not very scientific. I have tried it. It is an old, herbal medicine technique. It's not harmful. It is a little strange, and that is to take a sliver of onion, warm it up, and then put it in your ear, just in the edge of your ear, not in, because it's going to get stuck. This is not something that I would officially recommend to a patient. However, the sulfuric acid and the other, because the stuff that burns your eyes when you are cutting onions is that you're actually creating sulfuric acid. You are, because the onion has an enzyme that releases a chemical that when it hits the water in your eyes becomes sulfuric acid, is what it really is. So onions, there is a lot of evidence, and I wrote an article about this several years ago. There's a lot of evidence for onions having antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties, and even when you cook meat with onions, less carcinogens as well. So onions have a lot of value. I don't have a lot of evidence for onions lessening ear pain, but that is a thing that is used in the alternative herbal medicine community, and certainly something you can try. The first line thing that's most likely to work is, of course, the most scientific thing, lidocaine in your ears, what I would ask your physician for. If you can't get lidocaine in your ear, then the next step I would take is a Tylenol or ibuprofen. If you're uncomfortable with that or don't really have access to that, some good turmeric, 1,500 milligrams a day. And then, if you're just at home and feeling miserable and just got to try something, you can try the onion. I've tried it. It is comforting. Little warm sliver of onion, just right in the introitus of your ear. It's comforting. So different things to try. Another thing that can work, it's those last-ditch, low-resource effort, is a warm compress. You can make a towel a little bit wet, warm it up, not very wet. You don't be dripping water in your ear, and then lay it on your ear. That warmth can help also. A lot of times for things like pain externally, I recommend things like peppermint oil. I don't recommend that for your ear because I don't really have a lot of evidence or know if it's going to be harmful. So don't put things in your ear. Be careful. But the sliver of onion at the entrance is okay. Just don't break it off and put it in your ear. So a lot of strange stuff. Yeah, exactly. Garlic cloves. People try all those kind of things. Oh, good night, Modus. It's so good to see you. Please sleep well. Thank you for being here. Beer makes you feel like Batman. That's true. Yeah, it's... Hi, Jonathan. Oh, that's the name of my little brother. It's my little brother's name. He is my heaven brother. My brother who's in heaven now. Why do people feel body weakness? If I knew that, I would no longer have... fibromyalgia. I have literally been in bed the entire day until now. Probably 15 hours in bed because of how sick and fatigued I feel. And I'm a little dizzy and loopy right now because I took some of my extra of my Lyrica because I was in pain. So, I don't know premature. No one really knows that. However, for certain conditions, we do have information, right? So if someone has a fever, the reason they feel weak is because their body is trying to overheat to kill and boil off any bacteria. They're having increased acid, and your muscles and everything like that responds to that. So of course, with all that energy being used to fight infections and things like that, your body feels weak, right? With conditions like mine, it's why is the body making itself feel weak for no apparent reason? And some of that can be, the theory is that we have neurotransmitter deficits, we're missing out on important neurotransmitters. We need to have energy. So things like that. So you can feel fatigued because of emotional overload, right? Because you, just the way that things are going in your life, your job, and everything else like that, you're not healthy, you're not exercising, you're not eating a predominantly plant-based diet, you're eating a lot of carbs and inflammation, you're not getting the neurotransmitters that you need, right? Blueberries and other things like that help to give you energy because I literally have coenzymes in them that plug into your main enzymes and help you to feel better and help you literally process energy. So like vegetables and colorful food, color means it has energy. That's why you're attracted to color. So you should eat colorful foods, not Skittles. Eat the biological rainbow, not the artificial rainbow. And those kind of things help with energy. And of course, exercise helps with energy because it changes your antioxidants in your body, right? You have more SOD dismutase and a couple of the other free radical digesting enzymes that are upregulated when you exercise. There's a big debate whether exercise actually helps aging. We don't know, but the fact is it certainly does decrease antioxidation, or decrease oxidation, which means you have less tissue damage and therefore more energy. So one reason a lot of people feel tired and weak is they're not going out and exercising, and they don't have enough vitamin D, they're not out in the sun. So that can that's all stuff that can make you feel weak. Like having an indoor job all the time is pretty unhealthy. And I cannot wait until I'm somewhere not here. Not here. So that's kind of the answer. The answer is that in the end, people don't know, but there are things that we do know about certain conditions. So that's the answer to that. You get tired when you sit down. Yeah, you gotta move. Yeah, don't be in the ER putting onions in your ears, please. Please don't do that. That's why I said it's not very, not super evidence-based, but the reason, so allium vegetables like garlic, like onions, the reason they have that like strong taste is that they have certain chemicals in them that are very strong, and those same chemicals can help with infection and pain and things like that. So you should look it up on PubMed. There is a lot of good stuff that both garlic and onions do. It is really not a recognized treatment to put them in your ears at this point in time. However, it is something that people do try within the alternative medicine community. So, all right, so back to your breathing that we talked about, how to relax better. Let's do 3 sets down here with your arms on your side like that. Oh, what's that? Why is there a line there? Where's that thing? Is that this? I don't want there to be a line in my, oh, that is that. That looks weird. Can you move? I don't want to move you. I don't like this. Well, here's what we'll do. I will scoot to the side. No, don't do that. I will go here. And I will move these lights. And then it will look better. Look less nonsensey. Come on, you. Get out of the way. Come over there. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so pranayama breathing. Start with your hands on your hips, down like that. Oh, it really hurts for me to touch my own hips. Fibromyalgia is a bitch. Alright, so hands on your hips. I find that if it hurts to put your hands this way, turn them this way so that there's less impact from your thumbs in case any of you have chronic pain as well. So hands on your hips are really supposed to be forward like this. Another technique is to just bend your hands like this so you're not using your thumbs at all, and that helps as well. It's something that we use in other techniques, osteopathic techniques. Alright, I mean, as you all know, I'm an MD, but I have a lot of training in things like integrative, herbal, osteopathic medicine, as well as being a sexual assault medical forensic examiner. So even though I'm a generalist, I have certain areas where I have a little more expertise than the average physician, and then of course areas where I have less. I am really not up to date on pap smears anymore, I can tell you that, but I'm very up to date on what happens after assault. Alright, so hands on your hips, and you're going to do ujjayi breathing. You're going to do 3 down here, then you're going to touch your ribs, 3 on your ribs, and then way up here in your armpits, 3 in your armpits, okay? So first. One more set. And then up on the hip, on the ribs, okay? Oh, it hurts so much to touch my ribs. All right. And another time. And one more time on your ribs like this. And put your both hands. Don't do the finger thing that I'm doing. I'm doing that to help you keep track. So both hands on your ribs, just like this, okay? Probably around the 6th rib, a little bit lower than your breasts, okay? Deep breath in. Unless you're super saggy, in which case you're probably at your breasts. It's biology, it happens to all of us, especially those of us with Asian genes. And that's the 3rd. So we've done 3 sets of pranayama here, and now we go all the way up to our armpits. And our arm gets really tired and hurts because we have fibromyalgia, and there's something wrong with our spine. It really feels like so I have this whole story in my head about fighting with Superman. It really feels like I got my ass whooped by Superman during the night, and then he ran away for some reason. Couldn't finish the job. So it feels like, I don't know if you've ever been in a fight. I have. And usually, like, after that, you can feel kind of sore, depending on how it went. And it feels like that, but all over my body. I remember one fight when I was so I used to be, so if you watch my video on choosing your martial art for being a superhero, you'll see that I don't have a lot of respect anymore for things like Taekwondo, because as they're taught in the United States, they're not always very effective. And you're going to be better off like having a mix of things, learning some Muay Thai, some Jiu-Jitsu. There are some beautiful kicks you can learn in Taekwondo though, and some of the older forms are much more useful than like the current combat sport, which is what Taekwondo is like in the Olympics and things like that. When you're not going for points and you're going for an actual fight, a lot of the techniques that you need are very different than the techniques you would use in the competitions, for example. I trained for a long time with a Tukong master, who was a Korean Special Forces master, and then kind of carried that training over into my eventual, like, I have a Taekwondo black belt, but it's not really a big deal. It took me 10 years to get. Some people get a black belt in like 2 years, and it's like a joke. It took me 9 to 10 years to get, but even still, like, I think I got more benefit out of a year and a half of jiu-jitsu in some ways. My striking game is still pretty excellent, but you watch the video on choosing your martial art on the Becoming a Real Life Superhero channel. That's youtube.com/c/becoming a real life superhero, and learn how to like choose your martial art effectively. But all that to say, like, I'm not just like going around beating people up. Like, I was in sparring matches and things like that. I mean, I did 10 years. I taught Taekwondo actually professionally at one point and got paid for it. So I used to really know my shit. Now I'm like sick and sore. So I remember one fight where, like, I'm pretty sure I broke a bone in my foot, because I still have, every now and then when it's like cold, I still have certain ankle pain. And so like I'm pretty sure that like I got a hairline fracture in one of my metatarsals. My whole foot swelled. I couldn't walk for like a month. I was like hobbling around on my foot, hopping around. We didn't go to the doctor. We didn't do a lot of doctor stuff as in my growing up. Not out of neglect, just because, you know, if it wasn't like something like super serious, we didn't have the money for it. We were 8 kids, you know, growing up. And a lot of times doctors screwed us over too, because doctors would see my mom and judge her and be like, oh, someone with a lot of kids, she must be uneducated and stupid. You know, how dare, you know, especially women, they'd be like, oh, how dare she, you know, she have to be a baby machine. She's not like a real feminist, which is like ridiculous. A woman can choose to be whatever she wants. If she wants to have 8 kids, let her fucking have 8 kids. Okay, leave her alone. Sorry, I get defensive about this shit, but anyway, all that to say, we didn't go to the doctor, and because it wasn't, I was really a person who walked it off. Like after that happened in the fight, I literally went and did another fight, which I immediately lost because I couldn't kick with my right foot. Because in the first fight, because we were doing combat sport rules, right? So my goal is hit him in the stomach or the ribs. And dude kept putting his knee up, which actually is really effective in an actual fight. But he was doing it because he was like cringing like a baby. Every time I tried to kick, he would and like put his little knee up, and he was like bigger than me, but he was like scared of me. And that's illegal in Taekwondo. That is illegal. So I just kept going for that target. In real life, someone puts their knee up like that, you just kick them in the balls and move on. Okay. Um, they won't. You know, you're not going for ribs the same way. You're going for the solar plexus. You might be going for pieces of the face. You might be going for areas in the throat. You might be going to break a collarbone, make them kind of ineffective. There's other things you do. You might, I mean, it's hard to break a rib. So like if you're a big, strong dude, yeah, maybe you're kicking them in the ribs. But there's other ways to be more effective and get out of there as quickly and non-violently as possible, which is why I like jiu-jitsu. Because jiu-jitsu, you rarely harm the person. You usually frighten to threaten them. Or like disarm them. It's like, okay, I'm going to choke you until you collapse, and then I'm going to run away, and you're not going to rape me. I really like jiu-jitsu. I really like the whole spirit of jiu-jitsu. Taekwondo is a little bit more flashy, and in some ways less effective. But so anyway, he was doing he was doing illegal moves, and I didn't mix up my style. I just kept kicking. So I literally kicked so hard, I just broke my foot against his shin. So what I'm saying is I know what it's like to hurt after a fight, and I'm telling you, fibromyalgia is like my whole body got beat. Maybe not with a baseball bat, but with something. Something that's like long and club-like, and it feels like my whole body's been beat. And here I am, like, and like everywhere I touch, it feels like a bruise. It's like, so let's finish our pranayama breathing to answer your question and relax you. But that's to explain why I'm kind of wimpy. It's because I do feel like I've been beaten and drugged. Because I drugged myself afterwards. Try to feel better. Just Lyrica. I don't take opioids because I don't want to be addicted. Although opioids work really well, and I wish I was taking opioids, I'm telling you that. But you got to be careful with chronic pain. You don't want to get stuck on alcohol. You don't want to get stuck on opioids. Even though, like, in the moment, they work. But you don't want to have bigger problems. And then the other problem is if you're in chronic pain, chronic opioid use actually makes the pain worse long term because your mu receptors are so sensitive, they get desensitized. Isn't that awful? You can desensitize your mu receptors, and then you need more opioids to help with that pain. And then when you don't have the opioids, because the mu receptors are screaming and you have severe pain. So chronic opioid use actually leads to more pain in the long term. There's another reason I'm not on opioids. Alright, so we did breathing down on the ribs. Now let's come up here, okay? And you put your finger in your armpit. I hope you showered today. And then deep breath in, same thing. My fingers are getting distracted because I'm focusing on this. 2 more times. And then you feel better. It's an excellent relaxation technique. There is another one that's not pranayama, where you just breathe normally. And it's like another quick technique you can use, and you put your hands up in the air, for real, and you grab and you pull down, and you do that many times fast. It helps when you're really angry or stressed at work. Go somewhere where no one's gonna judge you. Go. And you feel that's a different kind of technique. The pranayama really like chills you out. That like kind of energizes you. I'm dizzy now. Kind of energizes you, but makes you like pushes the stress out. Like no more stress. Get the fuck out of here, stress. I forgot before so just to clarify why I swear. I was going to, before I streamed, put up a lovely little, you know, like how some streamers have like agreements when you get into chat. I was gonna put one up. And it says basically like I really care about free speech and using like your full language, and even if your ideas are completely stupid, some of you have ideas I hate and really disagree with. Even if your ideas are completely stupid, I want you to be able to express yourself. So I'm not going to ban you for being an anti-vaxxer. I'm not going to ban you for different things that you say, even if I disagree, right? Because I think it's important to have all different kinds of ideas and opinions available, right? I think that's important. However, with that caveat, please remember we have children here. So, think before you say items that are sexual. And basically don't be a creep or don't be an asshole. Is how one of my friends summarized my policy. It's like, don't be hitting on people. If you ask someone their age, you will be immediately banned. Okay? Because I take pedophilia very seriously. So, those kind of things, like things that would harass or harm someone is not your free speech. So if you come in here and you start swearing N-words at people and attacking people, you will be banned because you are not actually having a conversation. You are not contributing to ideas, right? Maybe you're an anti-vaxxer, or maybe you're, one of those people who believes in, like, I don't know, even flying a Confederate flag, which I heartily disagree with. I think that that's an evil thing. But even so, I will let you speak and communicate your ideas, and I will communicate mine, and we'll disagree and still love each other. I want you to have a place, even if you're socially awkward, to be able to speak. So that's important to me. So I'm not like other streamers who are going to say no politics, no religion. I want you to have a right to speak. We have all kinds of people in my community. I have a high priestess of Wicca. We have burgeoning Satanists. We have very dedicated Christians. We have loose Jews. We have all kinds of people. Okay, and it's important to me that we can all speak, because I think that's how we learn. I mean, my hope, obviously, is that you all find and love my Messiah and go to heaven. But I recognize that I may be wrong, and so I care about you having your opinions and stuff. But there's a difference between you having an opinion on any of those items, difference between you having an opinion and you attacking someone. Like if you came in, I'm using the anti-vax just as an example. Don't be hurt. I have a lot of anti-vaxxers in my life that I love, and anti-vaxxers like me as a doctor better than most other doctors because I don't judge you. I get it. My brother had a seizure after his DPT vaccine, and that's definitely affected my family and how we look at vaccine education. So I totally get it. I believe in vaccination, but I understand where you're coming from. And my little brother definitely is not going to get vaccinated again because of his, he's with those kind of vaccines, with a combined vaccine, because he is sensitive to it, right? So I get where you're coming from, but if you come in here and you're like, I hate you because you vaccinate people, or I hate you because you, like, how dare you get vaccinated to someone else, or something like that, like, if you come in here and you're attacking someone, then that's a ban. It's different if you come in here and you're like, hey, I have this scientific article, I believe that this vaccine is bad, I know that 1 in every 500 kids, doses of DPT vaccine had a seizure, which is true. You come in here with some evidence and communication, I can give you my evidence and communication response, and we can have a discussion, and that's cool. Same thing with, like race stuff. You may have opinions about everything, about Black Lives Matter and other stuff like that, but if you come in here and you're like, I hate black people, you're gone. You can't be attacking anybody. You can come in here and explain, your reasons that, like, I know people who are afraid, whose stereotype of Black Lives Matter is looting and things like that. I disagree with that as part of Black Lives Matter myself. Not the foundation, I disagree with the foundation, but celebrate the movement. Because I don't think the foundation takes into account all black lives. Like you come in and you can talk about those kind of things, right? You can come in, you can say, hey, I'm from Seattle and I'm concerned about looting, and that's how I see Black Lives Matter. Like that is a conversation. That is not a, coming in and saying, I don't think Black Lives Matter, like police are always right or something like that. Like, like when you're attacking somebody, right? So I don't mind you having opinions I think are terrible. Communicate them in a way that's loving and kind to the people around you, and remember there are children present. And what would you like your children to see, right? So that's all. That's kind of the general rule, and I want to eventually shorten it into like 2 sentences where I can say that I can put up before the chat, saying like, free speech is important to me. Talk about what you want. Remember there are children here. Don't ask people their age, and don't attack anyone. You will be instantly banned. I have no tolerance for that because we have people here who have severe depression, PTSD, other kinds of things like that, severe autism. I'm not gonna play around with that. Like, you attack somebody in my community, you're gone. Like, I will destroy you. Okay. I got a lot of flack in the military because of how aggressively I defended people that were under me, my medics or my patients. I got in trouble for getting extremely mad when my medics didn't get a deployment award they deserved and officers did instead. And there was an officer above me who took that really personally and decided to make a vendetta against me. Because he felt targeted. I wasn't targeting him. I was saying officers shouldn't be stealing awards from enlisted people. Bottom line, I think that we were super corrupt in Korea, and that the way we treated our lower enlisted was absolutely horrific. Meanwhile, the officers had time to go out and do all these other things. So, fuck that. I'm a big believer in rewarding people by merit, not by the fact that they had the privilege of a higher education because they were wealthy, and so they ended up in the military as an officer instead. So I'm very bitter about things like that. But I got in trouble for getting super angry about that. I was like, I'm gonna fucking while I was texting. So just so you know, that's who I am. And if you attack someone in my community, I can't help it. That is my personality. I will destroy you. That's, so I will make you go away. So be kind to people, because I am not this soft-spoken everything. That's not me. I'm actually more like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, let's go punch some stuff. That's my personality. So I create gentleness for you because I want you to have a space to be safe. But my actual personality is destruction. So don't trigger that. You don't want to mess with that. Be good to the people in my chat. Hush, hush. Hey, hush, hush. It's good to see you. You can't breathe. No pain, no gain. I think I pegged you in the face with a tennis ball. That's mean. Oh. Thank you, Jonathan. Oh my gosh, I missed that. Jonathan, thank you for subscribing. If you're still here, I hope you're still here. Everybody gets a gift because you subscribed. You get a free download. You also get all those emotes. Thank you, Jonathan. That's so sweet of you. Let me get Jonathan. If you're still here, if you're in chat, you get to choose, and you get to say whether or not the MP3 everyone gets is a hard exam MP3 or a secret agent MP3. So hard exam or secret agent, you get to choose. Oh, you can carry a sword around, Mr. Higglesworth. Spider-Man beat your ass. Those mountains are pretty round. They're gorgeous, aren't they? They're old. Older mountains are more round is the thing that we believe. Oh, you guys went to Blackheart Island? My gosh, you guys are... I talked very long, didn't I? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I talked so long about myself. Primo, I have had out-of-body experiences, but I will not talk about them. You guys are funny. But yes, I have had those experiences. Thank you, Jonathan. You are a sweetheart. Secret agent. All right, let's do it. All right, Pouncinator. Oh, all these wonderful people. I love seeing you. You make me so happy that you're here because every time I see one of your names, I know that like you're alive still. Because of all the death I've seen, life matters to me, and the fact that you're still alive and out there and maybe trying in a little way to make the world better. Maybe there's like 16 people out there who are like trying to do something to be kind to other people, who are like thinking about different things. Like if you're here, it means you can tolerate a lot of strangeness because I am strange. If you're here, it means that you have there's something special about you. I really believe that. Maybe it's the personality disorder talking, but I really believe, and you know what, just because someone has a personality disorder doesn't mean that they're wrong, right? Someone could be straight up schizophrenic and be right about something, right? In fact, people with mental illness are often like not believed about stuff like sexual assault or things like that just because they have a mental illness, even though it's real, and it's like, what happened? So anyway, I have a mental illness. It could be the mental illness talking, but I really believe there's like a special something about you for being here. So every time I see one of your names, I'm like, you know, I shouldn't even have said it could be the mental illness talking because I have plenty of evidence for that too. Because you are the only one. I always say this genetically. There is an entire history of human genetics, ancestry, history that has led to your existence. You are the you all through the past, all the little genes and things that have been passed down, all the different molecules that have been parts of cats or trees or water, all these different molecules that are now you, because matter, there's a law that says matter cannot be created or destroyed, right? So, so matter can transfer to energy or not, right? That's the new law, the new Einsteinian physics. But if matter cannot be created or destroyed, it just converts into other matter. That means that your form has been around since the beginning of creation, right? All the little molecules, and that's you. And you are also all of you all the way into the future. Everything that you do now, from the point of the awareness of your consciousness, from your conception, and then all the way up to after your death and the legacy you leave. And I believe in an afterlife. You may not, but I think that there's evidence for it because of experiences that I've had. But, and it's fine if you don't, you're allowed to believe. I am, like I said, happy to have you here, even if you believe I'm insane. Okay. But you are that person. You are and that's just science. That's just a fact. You have these molecules that belonged to someone else. You have this genetics that belong to someone else. So you are this combined force of humanity throughout history, right? And now you're here in this moment with me. That's special. There's something special. So every time I see one of your names, I'm excited. Hush, hush, Pouncinator, Unigoto, Jonathan, I'm really glad to have you here. When I see Josie, when I see all of you people, like I just, Mr. Higglesworth, like when I see your names, I light up because there's an entire history about you that you don't even know, that I don't know. And so every little detail I learn about you and your story is exciting because you're like, you are this thing, and who knows, you might be one of the people who really changes the world. It might be that the thing you do tomorrow affects everything for all eternity. We know that's true too because we know the butterfly effect is real. We know that when a butterfly flaps its wings, those air molecules move and touch other things. We're all connected physically, by science. Like I'm touching everything else on Earth right now because my butt is on the ground, right? And we are connected in that way. And the way energy flows and the way thermodynamic heat flows, this is a closed system. It's not entirely closed because you have some molecules that escape into space and everything else like that. But this is a interconnected system. So when I see your name, I have this sense, and again, I don't know why I discounted myself because of mental illness. Don't do that to yourself. Don't discount yourself. Because I have evidence for all of this. This is all facts, right? It's just that when I see you, I remember all these facts down in my soul, and I remember how valuable you are, and it makes me a little bit excited. So, happy to see you. when you become president, you're gonna come back to the video. I may be paranoid, but that doesn't mean someone isn't trying to kill you. Yeah, that's what I think. I agree with you, Jonathan. I think that there's kind of there's something special for people who seek this out. That's what I want. Alright, Jonathan, secret agent. Secret agent, secret agent. Let's get you some good secret agent ASMR. How about the very first one where the secret agent kidnaps you? We could do that, or we could do Finding the Axe. That's a good one. Ooh, that's probably the best one. We'll do Finding the Axe. This is a good one. It has a medical exam and like a little bit of adventure and a beautiful, what's it called? There's a beautiful tour afterwards. Oh, no, that's not the one I want. It's this one. This is the one I want. Right before that. Where is it? It should be number 15.